So good morning, everybody, or good afternoon, depending on what time zone you're joining us from. So glad to see so many of you joining us today. I think we're at 180 at this point, which I think already makes it our biggest event of the week. Super psyched about that. My name is AJ Ehrenstein. I'm Dean of Beyond Barnard, and I'm joined by a couple of my great colleagues today. We'll be kind of handing it back and forth throughout the entire presentation. But the first thing I want to say is welcome, 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 welcome virtually. I know that I've seen some of your faces already in different NSOP presentations, and we couldn't be more excited that you all are here to join us for these conversations this week. How's everybody doing? Please throw an emoticon into the reaction box there. I love seeing the thumbs ups pop. For some reason, it keeps me sane on these virtual calls to know that you guys are still out there. I also am so appreciative that you are all still on video. It's very nice to see your faces, although we are absolutely happy to talk to the black boxes and names. It is up to you, it's your preference, however you want to engage with us this morning is fine by us. So without further ado, we'll get started. We will do our best to end right at 11:30. We're big fans of ending NSOP presentations and really all Zooms on time at Beyond Barnard. So here we go. Our ambition today is to provide an overview of Beyond Barnard and the many ways that you can tap into what our office does while you're a Barnard student, beginning as soon as this week. There are a couple of presentations left in our NSOP roster, and so we kind of wanted to highlight them for you this afternoon. After today's presentation, you can join Nikki Youngblood-Giles, who will be presenting on 4+1 pathways with Columbia University. We'll do a student jobs intro. So I know many of you will likely have questions about campus jobs and how you can access campus jobs through Beyond Barnard. We're happy to take some of those questions during this presentation, but we're going to go much more in depth into that theme this afternoon at 3. And then tomorrow, really excited to have Brianna Roman, one of our colleagues who's not on this call today. We'll be doing a first introductory resume session on how to polish your resume for college. It's a great talk. We saw her do a dry run this morning. Brianna's amazing, and it's a great chance to really get kick-started on understanding how we present material at Beyond Barnard and also getting a resume ready for college. So first, hi, I'm AJ. That's me and my dorky headshot. I am trying to do what I tell my entire team to do, though, which is to bring more of myself to some of these presentations, just the same way that we're going to encourage you when you come to visit us at Beyond Barnard to bring your whole self to the conversation. So I live in New York. I live with my wife, Gina. That's us in Mexico in weirdly matching outfits. I promise we don't match outfits all the time, but we do actually an alarming amount of the time. I don't know. That's my family. I'm from Westchester County in New York. That's my mom, my dad, my sister. We left my brother-in-law and my wife at home. This was during a COVID family bonding sesh, so we got the old band back together. They mean a lot to me. I'm actually in the suburbs right now. I don't know if you can tell by the decor. I have a lot of flowery pillows on the couch that I've been sitting on a lot, and it's not my apartment. I like to ski. This is me after I did a face dive into a mound of powder and was so shaken up that I didn't even have my goggles on. I like to ski in the winter. I've been doing it for a long time. I do it badly. I love pizza. I'm a native New Yorker. I lived in Chicago for 7 years. If we have any Chicagoans on the call, throw the thumbs up in the air. Second city for life. But I am a New York boy at heart, and I love my pizza. I love dogs. That's my mother-in-law's dog. He's a pain in the neck. He's Murphy. He's a designer dog. He's smarter than I am, for sure. We have a very special relationship, as you can tell. I write. I've been a writer for a long time. I did my undergraduate work at the University of Virginia, and I majored in comparative literature and political and social thought. And I love Barnard. I am not allowed to divulge who is inside that costume. That would be a state secret, but I'm hoping that some of you can use context clues to understand the point that I'm trying to make about how much I love Barnard with this particular photo. I hope the message is received. And I want to also invite some of my colleagues who are also on the call today to introduce themselves so that you get a sense of some of the voices and the faces that are part of Beyond Barnard. And I thought maybe we'd start off with Camille Hall. Camille?
Hey, good morning, everyone. This is a tough act to follow after AJ. My name is Camille Hall. I am the Associate Director of Experiential Education here at Barnard. I'm entering my 3rd year at Barnard. You'll find that my work consists of assisting all of you with finding student jobs on campus, off campus, Those of you who are in federal work study, if you're seeking community partnership opportunities, and also other experiential education opportunities that Barnard partners with. So looking forward to meeting all of you soon.
Christine, you want to go next?
Absolutely. I just saw New Hampshire pop up in the chat.
I know, I did too. I was like, yeah.
I'm a New Hampshire native, and in 1980, I came from New Hampshire to Barnard and have never really left New York. Since then, I moved out of the city a while ago when my son was born, but I'm only 20 minutes away. Feels a little further away these days, but we're all part of the same community. So I'm an alum, and I started life as a New York City school teacher and moved into higher ed. I have the honor and pleasure of leading up our advising and programs team, and we do the bulk of the one-on-one career advising, as well as graduate school and other opportunities you might be thinking about. And we do a whole bunch of different programs that you'll learn about as well, and really excited to welcome another class of amazing Barnard students into the mix.
Awesome. Zena?
Hey everyone, my name is Zena Jones. I'm the internship program coordinator at Beyond Barnard. I've been with Barnard for almost, I think, 7 years now. So I work the program to make sure that you get funding for your internship. I'm a native New Yorker. I'm an internship program coordinator by day. I'm a musician and artist by night. So I have a special place in my heart for all you RT people out there. So I'm looking forward to working with all of you this semester and the upcoming year.
Awesome, Zena. Lindsay.
Hi, everyone. I am Lindsay Granger Weaver. I'm one of the associate directors on the advising and programs team. I've been at Beyond Barnard for about a year and a half, but I'm, not unfamiliar with the Barnard campus, Barnard community. I'm a Columbia College alum from 2006 and from Jersey. And if you notice, I have a weird angle going on. It's to hide all of this massive sippy cups behind me because my 2-year-old was not feeling her cups this morning. So really excited to work with all of you. Anybody have any questions about career stuff? Our team is happy to help, and we're really excited to welcome you to Barnard.
And actually, I will give the students a kind of glimpse of the virtual world we've been living in. If you all want to follow us on Instagram at Beyond Barnard, you'll see some of the pictures of the adorable Zoom bombers that have found their way into our meetings the past couple of months, starting with Nikki's 2 kids. But it's a good segue to Greg Triandus, who's a proud dad of a Barnard 21 at Barnard 24, and Nora is in the chat saying, "What up? I can't believe she's actually here." I am embarrassed for Greg.
Good morning, everybody. I'm Greg Triendis. I'm a native New Yorker, and as you know, I am a parent. 2024. My wife's an alumna of the college, so I have a certain spot in my heart for the college. I am entering my 5th year. I just realized that. I come from effectively a Wall Street background. My title is Senior Associate Director of Employee Relations, and my team, and you'll get to meet Caitlin in a minute, we have all the employers that are interested, and they are very interested in hiring our Barnard students. They come through our department. You'll learn a lot about how we do that. It's still early days, but that's what I do, and I couldn't be happy.
And Kayla, you want to round us out?
Yep, sure. Hi, everyone. I'm Kayla Nersidy. I am the Employer Relations Program Assistant. I manage all the logistics for employers who want to engage and hire Barnard students, which again, you'll learn later on. And I've been with Barnard College for 3.5 years, originally from New York, and now I reside in Hoboken, New Jersey with my husband, 2-year-old son, and my French bulldog.
Who's been relatively quiet in the background. Otis.
He's currently snoring. Currently snoring.
So that's just some of the many members of our team that you'll get to know throughout the rest of this week, and certainly throughout your 4 years at Barnard. We could have everybody here. We'd be all day going back and forth with each other about stories in this call. So we thought we'd keep it small and come back the rest of this week. You'll meet the rest of the team as well. But we also want to hear a little bit about you. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to launch a quick poll. And I'd love to hear a little bit about what you all are feeling as you approach the start of your first academic year. Some of the questions that might be on your mind, you're welcome to put in the chat. But I'm putting some of the kind of common feelings that we hear that students are experiencing during their first couple of weeks of college. I'll share the results in a couple of minutes. Throughout this presentation, you're going to hear over and over again that when it comes to the areas that Beyond Barnard covers, we've got your back. We want you to be a student first in your first couple of weeks and months at Barnard. It's important that you follow your intellectual interests, that you get acclimated to classes, that you explore many student organizations, that you really think about yourself as a student first. But it's totally understandable for many emotions about the areas that Beyond Barnard covers, which again are careers, internships, student jobs, fellowships, and applications to graduate and professional school. So I'll show you the results in a few seconds once they start really coming in. The rest of our conversation today, and by the way, are you all seeing the poll? Did the poll actually pop up? Okay, cool. The rest of the presentation today, we're going to talk a little bit about the distinctive approach that Beyond Barnard brings to these areas of consideration. We'll talk about a few specific ways that you can tap into Beyond Barnard, beginning really as soon as the first week of classes. And then I'm going to address this question of, isn't it a little intimidating to think about your career? I mean, come on, we're not even at Barnard really yet, sheesh. And I want to say again, we totally get that. We get that it's very early. The very simple answer is yes, it is early for you to be thinking about these things. And we think that's great. But we also don't want to create a sense of anxiety that you need to be panicking about your career on day -3 of college. Instead, we want to encourage you to engage in 4 years of conversation with us and really stay engaged with us throughout the entire lifespan of your career after Barnard as well. And then we'll do some next steps once we are through those elements. So I'm going to start with our approach. And y'all, I don't know what's going on with this poll. It tells me 0 of 204 of you have answered. So I don't know if that's right or not. People have been responding. I saw thumbs ups. So let me go ahead and end the poll and see if that actually shows results. Nobody's feeling anything. That's what it turns out to be. We've got 0% reporting, so none of you are feeling anything. So it's a room full of 204 robots, or likelier Zoom error number 1 of 10 million for us throughout the course of this year. So, oh well, the poll didn't work. I'm going to relaunch it and see if that ends up working. And if so, then we will try to get to you by the end of the presentation. But okay, to the important stuff. What is Beyond Barnard? We're here to support all students and alumni of Barnard College as they define, pursue, and achieve success in their careers and communities. We serve everyone at Barnard College from day 1 of your matriculation here, throughout your 4 years as students, and for your entire life as an alumna. Everything that we provide is totally free. Oh, and also the poll worked. Thank God, 74% of us are excited. That is wonderful news. But no matter what you're feeling, and this is what I was going to say, no matter what you're feeling, we're here to support you, and we understand where you're coming from. As you can tell from the introductions of our staff, we've been doing this work a long time. So back to the mission. We're here to help you define, pursue, and achieve success, no matter how you define it, no matter how you choose to pursue it, and in support of the many ways that you will achieve it both here at Barnard and in your career after you leave the college. How do we do this? We think about our work in 4 key areas. 1 is individualized advising, where you'll meet with one-on-one with advisors as many times as your heart wants to throughout the academic year. We provide support on jobs and internships. So essentially campus jobs are routed through our office. So if you're exploring campus job opportunities, you'll come to Beyond Barnard. And again, we hope you'll join for the presentation this afternoon at 3. We also provide funding to support what would otherwise be unpaid internships. And Zina's going to talk a little bit about this in a while. But really, we encourage you to start thinking about pursuing internship grants through Beyond Barnard in your first summer after your first year at the college. We have a robust set of relationships with a wide variety of employers. Greg and Caitlin will talk a little bit about that. But essentially, around 150 employers per year interact with Barnard students in a wide variety of events and programs, for everything from the for-profit world to nonprofits, to arts, to government, and everything in between. So they'll talk a little bit about how employers engage with students. And we have a really strong data and operations practice at Beyond Barnard. I saw Eric on the call, and I don't know if he wants to wave in the box, but Eric Wong on our team does a great job tracking all of the outcomes for our graduating seniors. We have great numbers, and the numbers are here to help you understand the many different trajectories that Barnard students go into after they leave the college. We really think it's your path and your purpose. It's our job to support you in both of those areas. So like I said, you'll take advantage of individual advising. You'll be able to attend a huge range of events and programs. You'll be able to connect to the incredible network of 35,000 living Barnard alumni, both in New York City and around the world. And one of the best things about the move to virtual is just how engaged alumni have been virtually in mentoring opportunities throughout the last 6 months. We'll connect you with employers, provide you with a big sweep of digital resources and tools, which we'll start linking in the chat when I get to take a break, a drink, and sit back and put a few things down in writing while my colleagues are presenting. And we'll make sure that you understand the importance, but not have an obsession with internships as you navigate toward a career after Barnard. A couple of quick stats. In the last 2.5 years of Beyond Barnard, we've done 10,000 individual advising appointments. Beyond Barnard, we like to say, is just what we do here at the college these days. Engaging with our services, taking advantage of our resources, and connecting with the individuals that make our office a thriving and inclusive community. There are 2 key ideas that are important for you to understand as you get started at Barnard when it comes to Beyond Barnard's work. And this is Kay Ma. She was one of our internship grant recipients this summer. She's a first-gen college student. And she took over our Instagram page a couple of weeks ago. She did a great job. She actually, I think she got the CEO of the organization. Yeah, she got Chris, who I believe was like British, and we were talking about him like being a secret agent or something. Got him to actually give her a testimonial on our Instagram. It was like a very big power move for Kay. But there's often a false dichotomy between the skills and knowledge that you need for success in the classroom and those that you need for success anywhere else. What we try to get you to do at Beyond Barnard is to think about how what you're learning in the classroom can inform what you're doing outside of the classroom, and how the great work that you're doing in your student jobs, your internships, your fellowships, any of the pursuits that you are pursuing as a college student outside the classroom speaks back to what you're learning inside the classroom, or inside the virtual classroom as it is right now. We want to trouble the border between classroom and world and have these 2 important spaces speak to each other. We really think that's one of the distinctive things about a Barnard education, and certainly one of the distinctive things about Beyond Barnard's approach. The second idea is that your major doesn't dictate the entire arc of your career trajectory. And this is important. It's not that your major doesn't matter. You're going to learn important skills and knowledge no matter what kinds of classrooms you inhabit throughout the course of your 4 years here. But it's important to realize that a major doesn't dictate where you are going to go. We have economics majors working as art history curators. We have art history majors working at major Fortune 500 companies, and everything in between. What we really are about at Beyond Barnard is helping you achieve your intellectual goals in the classroom and making sure that you understand how you translate what you're learning in the classroom for whatever career you want, regardless of whether you want to head to graduate school or go be a doctor or a lawyer, or head directly to advertising or marketing or writing, etc. And this is a picture of Andrea Achi, who's class of 07, and she's currently a curator at the Met, and she was here for one of our mentoring events last year. I want to make sure we have 204 people in the room today, or in the virtual space. So this is a great opportunity to tell as many of you as possible for you to share with the rest of your friends that no matter what people say about a traditional Barnard trajectory, there's no such thing as a traditional path from this liberal arts education. So what you're seeing in front of you is essentially the percentage of graduates from the class of 2019 that go to, I think it's 17 different industries. And what you'll notice is that no single industry captures more than 11% of alumni. That means that no matter what you're interested in doing, a Barnard education will prepare you to pursue that career path, especially if, like you're doing right now, you start conversations with yourself, with each other, with us, with alumni, faculty, and others in the Barnard community about where your ambitions might take you in the long run. So we're a 16-member team. Our email list in the office is BB Family. We're a tight bunch. That's the whole crew there, faded back in the Zoom background that has become our life in the last 6 months. We're also an amazing team of peer career advisors. We're joined by them as well. They're here in spirit today. You'll meet them over the course of the next couple of weeks, but they're essentially a group of 10 highly trained peers, your peers, who are sitting where you are right now, not very long ago. They're trained on everything from resumes and cover letter review to career exploration to getting prepped for interviews and negotiations. And they really are the first line of defense for so many first years. They do about 800 individual advising appointments per year. They take care of a ton of demand and are really great resources to talk about their experiences. And I think they're just really credible. The students love meeting with PCAs because they're not that much different from you are right now. Okay, so how can you tap into Beyond Barnard? This is a lot in terms of like the concepts behind what we are. What specifically can you do to tap into the resources that we provide? So the first thing to say is we're definitely about on-campus jobs, and many of students' first interactions with our office is about their student jobs. And I want to invite Camille to just say a few things about that and to invite you to join us this afternoon. Camille?
Yeah, sure thing. For all of you who are thinking about your future career pursuits, Beyond Barnard, well, Barnard College is obviously a great place to work. It's a great place to build your professional pursuits here. So in today's session later on at 3 p.m., we'll discuss about why working at Barnard is a great place to work, the various categories of jobs that you can pursue, whether that's on campus or off campus. And obviously in this time, why working at Barnard is a great place to work, even remotely. We'll go over detailed information about federal work study, Barnard College jobs, how to process your paperwork, and more importantly, what type of skills and overarching skills that you're going to learn as a student employee here at Barnard. So looking forward to getting into more detail later on today at 3 p.m.
Awesome. Thank you, Camille. We're also about more than student jobs. So we definitely don't want to see you just once to talk about your campus job in your first semester or second semester at Barnard and say, peace, I'll see you in senior year when I start to freak out about what's next. No, we want you to stay engaged throughout your entire 4 years. And what you're seeing here is Amber was another one of our funded interns this summer. She got about as far away from New York as you can get out in Montana, where she was working as a goat herder at this incredible organization that provides outdoor education for students from under-resourced schools. Amber's awesome. And I love this picture not only because until the Triandis family photo, by the way, it was the #1 Instagram photo on our stream until that historic day. But really, you can work right here on Barnard's campus, but you can work across the country and around the world. There are no geographic limitations to what you're going to achieve as Barnard students, and there's no geographic limitation to the ways that you can get support for internships. I want to talk a little bit more about specific resources, but I also want to hand it off to Christine Shin to give you a sense of some of the other ways that you can get started on your trip to maybe Montana. I don't know if there are any other aspiring goat herders out there, but you can get started on tapping into resources toward whatever you're interested in the first couple of weeks of class. Christine, take it away, and I'm going to put some links in the chat for everybody.
The day this picture popped up on Instagram, I was going to create a scale of how is your day at work today, with number 10 being herding goats in Montana and 1 being whatever. So a couple of things that you can do to get started. You will, as soon as you finalize your enrollment, which I'm told is a relatively simple process, you will be able to activate your Handshake account. Handshake is our portal to most things beyond Barnard. You can make appointments through there. You can see events. You can sign up to meet with employers. You can search for jobs and you can search for internship opportunities. There's no rush. You don't need to go out and do that today, but sometime over the next couple of weeks, you should go into Handshake, activate your account, and begin filling in your profile. And Caitlin will tell you a little bit more about that in a few moments. We've got a couple of other really key platforms. One of our favorites, which we launched a little over a year ago, is called the Barnard Connect Virtual Mentoring Network. This allows you, it's sort of like LinkedIn just for Barnard. And so you join it as a student, and it gives you access to, at this moment, over 700 Barnard alumni who have opted into the platform and have basically raised their hand and said, ask me anything, talk to me about anything. We could talk one time, we could talk, over time. So definitely something to take a look. You can explore the community, by all sorts of different criteria, including what activities they did when they were at Barnard, as well as what fields they're working in now. So it's a great resource. And again, no rush. You don't need to do that today, but it's something to put on your list for the next couple of weeks. And then a couple of things that it's helpful to think about early. You don't have to commit to it, but there are some time-sensitive things or some things that you can make early decisions on that will have some impact. And that includes fellowships, which are funded opportunities for travel, graduate school, etc. Some of you hopefully joined our session yesterday with Jennifer Leck to learn more about those. And there's tons of resources to learn more about that over the coming year. And then graduate school, if you are thinking about graduate school, if you're pretty sure that you want to do that, you want to think in terms of that, we're happy to talk to you about the big picture. If you have no idea, but you still want to just talk about general trajectory, it's something to think about, because graduate schools, your undergraduate can impact that. And just in general, what you're thinking about now, what you might be thinking about over the course of the semester, and of course the course of your years here. Some people come in with a definite plan and it never wavers, but I'd say most people either come in with no plan or a vague plan, and we're happy to talk about that from day one.
Thanks, Christine. And I'm also going to put into the chat right now a link to our YouTube channel, which can give you a great sense of the diversity of programming and the many different topics that we cover. The videos that are up there right now are primarily from our summer-long series called Summer Colloquium, where we put together about 75 different programs on a range of topics. So you could get a real feel for the presentations that we regularly host at Beyond Barnard there. I want to make sure always that you all are thinking not just about advising, but also programs. Programs are a great way to connect with each other, especially during this time when we are all relatively fragmented. They're nice opportunities to learn from each other, to hear that you're actually not alone in thinking about different kinds of paths, or you're not alone in thinking that you don't know what you want to do with your career at Barnard, let alone the rest of your life. We really emphasize the importance of events, of getting exposure to alumni panels, getting exposure to each other, and certainly seeing what more of our staff and visiting employers have to say about the things that you'll be doing both at Barnard and after. Especially during this virtual period, many of our events are actually recorded. And so you're always welcome to check out the YouTube channel, or alternatively, check out the resources section of Handshake, where more virtual and digital resources are being added all the time. So to this question of, isn't it a little intimidating to think about your career at this point? Come on, we're not at Barnard yet, blah, blah, blah. So the first thing to say is, you really can come over and talk about whatever. 4,000 individual appointments were held at Beyond Barnard just during the last academic year. And we're extremely excited just last week to find out, we kind of did our postmortem on the entire 2019-20 academic year. And 1/4 of all of our student appointments were with first years, which is great. That's you all represent 1/4 of the class, and roughly 1/4 of our appointments were with you guys last year. I think that's a testament to the fact that Beyond Barnard is just what we do at Barnard these days. Getting started early and coming often is exactly what we're hoping that you'll be interested in doing beginning in the first couple of weeks of your time at Barnard. But how do you navigate your first conversations when you come to Beyond Barnard? I'm going to hand it off to Lindsay Granger Weaver, who is on our advising and programs team as well, to build on some of the points that Christine kind of alluded to in the remarks that she just made a few moments ago. Lindsay.
Hi. So pretty much, the first conversation is just that. You don't need to have any preparation. If you have ideas about what you want to do, cool, we can talk through those. If you have no idea what you want to do, cool, we can talk through that too. We're all, the advising and programs team and just everyone at Barnard, Beyond Barnard in general, is really there to listen and really there to make sure that you are comfortable with either not knowing or with knowing. The tagline for Beyond Barnard is, your path, your purpose. And I always like to add your pace, because it's really, up to you to figure out, with our assistance, of course, where you want to go, what you want your next steps to be. And a lot of it is connecting dots between ideas and then getting experience, connecting with the Barnard network, which is very strong, as Christine and AJ have mentioned. So many alums are willing to step up and really willing to just, chat with you over Zoom or on the phone, just about their career paths. And so really that first initial conversation is just us figuring out what you want your next step to be. You don't have to have your life figured out right now or ever. It's just kind of fun to ride the wave. But, just kind of like getting you out there, getting you in touch with people. And let us really hear about you and hear about your ideas, what brought you to Barnard, your initial thoughts. And we just really can go from there. A ton of resources are available once you're in Handshake. And we also have career exploration resources specifically. So you're never alone in this process. And we're just really excited to kind of get you all in and get you going wherever you think you want to be.
Thanks, Lindsay. So from those first conversations where you can talk about really wherever you're at, and we also encourage you, we love hearing from students, especially in the beginning of their first year at college. You can always just email us directly at beyondbarnard@barnard.edu. And if you want to test out the hypothesis that you don't need any specific question to bring to your first conversation, feel free to send an email. It's really friendly. It's me and Nikki Youngblood-Giles and two other folks on our team that are always happy to answer questions. Again, it's beyondbarnard@barnard.edu, and we just put that in the chat as well. Really though, in addition to the staff, in addition to all of the resources that we provide, we like to say at Beyond Barnard that one of the most underutilized resources of Barnard students is other Barnard students. And we emphasize the importance of building communities of support around yourself, no matter what your ambitions are, no matter what you're intending to do, either as an intern or as a fellow or as someone who has a campus job or an off-campus job. Tapping into the community of other Barnard students who are just a little bit older than you are, who maybe have an internship that they don't need anymore but want to pass it off to another amazing Barnard student. This is an incredible way to build up your network, to get used to connecting to each other in a way that feels natural, in a way that doesn't feel forced or over-professional or like anything other than just connecting with friends on shared interests and ambitions. This is one of the ways that you can start really tapping into the Barnard network, is just looking at the students that are around you in class, studying the same things you're interested in, and already doing some of the things that you might be passionate about. To help facilitate some of those pursuits, I want to have Zena say a few more things about the internship program, which annually reaches about 400 students at this point and is growing all the time. And Zena's done a fantastic job of managing this program, as she mentioned at the top, for several years now. So I'm going to let her say a few things about internship funding available through Beyond Barnard. Zena?
Yeah, so I, like AJ said, I manage the internship program, and what the internship program does is help you to navigate your internship by providing funding for you during the fall, spring semesters, and for the summer. We typically fund students with a $1,000 stipend during the fall and the spring. The summer has been a little different this past summer especially, and the spring as well, for circumstances that we couldn't control, obviously. But we're happy to announce that we are going to be funding more students this fall. So we're excited about that. The internship program is, we encourage you to, like AJ said earlier in the session, we encourage first-year students to participate the summer after their first year. That's pretty much it for the program. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me or to all of us at Beyond Barnard. I think this year this past summer, we've worked closely with internship supervisors. So we're here to support you in any capacity regarding an internship. So excited for the upcoming semester.
Thanks, Zena. And again, everyone, we really encourage you to apply for internship program grant funding through Beyond Barnard for the first time during your summer after your first year. That's really an appropriate time to start exploring internships that are supportable with Beyond Barnard grants. We also want you to think about programs like the Summer Research Institute, where you can get funding to pursue research during the summer under the guidance of a faculty mentor. It's another important way to gather experience, to assess your fitness to research if you're a STEM student, and to also think about how science can develop transferable skills to many different paths as well. One of the things we talk about a lot is that Barnard graduates go everywhere. So if you leave today with one takeaway, really just one concrete takeaway, it's that anyone who tells you there is a traditional path for Barnard students and alumni doesn't have the full picture, because Barnard students go everywhere after they graduate, and even during their time at Barnard as interns, as fellows, as graduate-bound individuals. So no matter what place you can imagine for yourself right now, you will probably change your mind 100 times, but that's okay because Barnard graduates go everywhere anyway. I want to have Caitlin and Greg talk a little bit about the relationships that we have with employers, but basically what you're looking at right now is the list of 500 plus individual firms, organizations, and graduate programs or institutions where Barnard alumni have gone in just the last 2 years. They are from everywhere, like big organizations like NBC News, Google, Bank of America, to smaller nonprofits that are advancing social justice right here in New York City, like the Bronx Defenders, or museums like the American Museum of Natural History, the Metropolitan Museum of Art. If you're interested in publishing, we can help facilitate connections to employers like Penguin Random House, but we can also think about how to leverage your interest in writing in many surprising places. The real takeaway is, no matter where you're hoping to head, the relationships that we have with organizations and with alumni can help you get there. And I want Greg and Caitlin to say a few things about the specific manner in which employers engage with students throughout the entire academic year. Guys?
Thanks again, AJ. So again, everyone, just expand on what AJ said, and I might say this 3 or 4 times. This is early days for everybody. There's no stress here, and I'm all about the no stress part of it. Employers are coming to campus for one reason and one reason only, is to meet Barnard students and to hire Barnard students. And that's really the way to look at this. And the way to take advantage of that is to have knowledge about yourself, knowledge about the employer, and that will help your path. You almost might look at it like you're starting your liberal arts education. This is how I'm starting my path on employers. So they're coming here to campus. That is the gamut. They run, as we've said, from financial services to Human Rights Watch to the Peace Corps. It's everyone and everyone. And what AJ said was really important. Internships are very important as you progress your second year, your third year, because you may think your path is one way, then you take an internship or you go through an internship and you realize that was a wonderful experience. It was experientially sound, but it wasn't for me. And you know what? That's great. So you could pivot 180 degrees, where I was going to work at Amazon and I would prefer to work at the Met because I have the experience. So you will see, and again, not today or tomorrow, but once you get into Handshake, and Kayla will expand on this, the many different ways that employers actually are coming to campus now virtually, then physically to meet us. And really, they're coming here to hire us from the internship level to right on to graduation. And then when you're alumna, the office is open again. It's the same communication. So again, no stress. It's early days, but you're going to get to know us. And as you evolve, you'll be spending that much more time with us. Kayla?
Yeah, so a lot of the employer events that have happened on campus and now virtually range from just general info sessions, tailored coffee chats, on-campus interviews, now virtual, and our opportunities fair that happens in the fall and the spring semester. I also oversee all the employers and jobs and internships that come through Handshake. So we encourage you, when you complete your Handshake profile over the next few weeks, please include your industry interests. This is so you receive targeted emails about opportunities in these industries. We also recommend reading our weekly newsletter that you should begin to receive next week. These newsletter will have the most up-to-date events and programs at Beyond Barnard. So please make sure you check your emails at some point next week. And that's it from me. I will toss it back to you, AJ.
Thanks, Caitlin and Greg. And you're right, it is early days, and we're hoping that if there's anxiety among folks about what industries you might be interested in, you're like, I don't even know what an industry is, that's totally fine. The more tailored you can be in your interests, the better the information will be that you get. But also, like Christine and Lindsay said a couple of times, you will change your mind probably by the end of NSOP, what you're interested in doing. You'll probably change your major if you're like most Barnard students 3 times by the end of your first semester. And all of this is reflective of the kinds of self-reflection and assessment that you'll continue to do as a student and ultimately as an alumna. How will you navigate that process in your first year, that process of self-reflection and assessment? Well, we like to think about the first year as a windy road on the 1 train. For those of y'all who are from New York, you know the 1 is basically the worst, surpassed only by maybe the G. I don't know. For those of y'all who live in Brooklyn, you may disagree, but we like to say at Beyond Barnard that we will help get you where you need to be faster than the 1 train will get you to South Ferry. So I want to share some of the things that we say are the stops along the 1 train, the things that you should be doing within your first year. So the first, in the last week before the start of class, hopefully you're acclimating, you're exploring. You'll do your first resume session, not quite in August, it's September 4th this year, so it's slightly different timing. But hopefully you'll join us tomorrow for our resume session and start thinking about how to translate the experience that you've got from high school, leadership activities, from jobs, from babysitting, from previous gigs, and updating that for your first semester at college. In October, we hope that you'll start thinking about meeting with PCAs for the first time, really getting that first conversation about exploring different career options, about thinking about different industries, just about talking about, hey, I'm in this class and I never expected that I'd actually be interested in political science, but here I am thinking about politics in the semester of the election. Meeting and connecting with PCAs, peer career advisors again, is a great way to have a first conversation about how your intellectual work at Barnard is starting to structure your interests for the longer term. By December, we kind of just hope that you'll take stock. Like I've said a few times, you'll change your mind several times throughout the first semester at college. You'll build relationships, you'll meet staff and faculty, you'll explore different intellectual areas. December is the time to pull up and say, how have I changed already as an individual? How have I changed not only as a student, but as someone who has different long-term ambitions than I could have ever thought of? And we're here to help you through that part of the process too, and we hope you'll have that conversation with us. January is really the time to start thinking about summer. I know that may sound crazy to many of you, but I really want to drive it home is that we don't want you to panic right now. Again, be a student first for these first couple of weeks and months. January is a great time to really start thinking about what your plans could potentially be for summer. If you start later, don't be anxious and, I can't go to Beyond Barnard because it's March and I haven't thought about anything and they're going to be upset with me. No way. Anytime is a good time to start thinking about what's next. There's never a time that's too late, right? We're here to support you no matter where you're at, but we definitely encourage you to think about your summer beginning in January to set yourself up for success. Because in February to March and in April, you'll be actually applying to summer internships, thinking about summer research opportunities. For those of you that already joined Barnard Connect in the span of this call, we did one version of this presentation 2 weeks ago, and by the time I stopped talking, like 20 people had already signed up to find a virtual mentor. It was very exciting. So you don't have to wait till February and March to sign up for Barnard Connect. You can do that right now. But also we think that if you're starting to connect with alumni who are out there in the world doing cool things, February and March is a great time to start doing that. If you're playing your cards right, and I got from Christine that 2 Barnard Connect folks have signed up already during our presentation this morning. So thanks to all of y'all. I hope that more of you will take time this afternoon. By April and May, hopefully you'll be interviewing positions and finalizing plans. And again, we're here to help you prep for interviews. We're here to help you navigate the process of thinking about different offers in different directions for your first summer. And we're here to help you navigate throughout the summer. So if next year is anything like this year, Summer Colloquium this summer was 70 events, like I said, on a range of topics, including Zena's presentations with Camille and Lindsay on how to navigate your internship, how to make the most out of your summers as a college student to ensure that you're progressing not only in the skills that you're building, but in the professional relationships that you're developing. So, other next steps. And I love this picture. This was from a visit, I think was it Super Union? Christine, I think this was a Schvidler Fellows visit to Super Union with Saba Ashraf, who's the CEO of North America's, of the Americas rather. It's a great advertising agency downtown. And of course the advertising agencies send back this like portfolio of like 15 amazing kind of badass pictures of students visiting. Field trips is one of the things that we typically do at Beyond Barnard, giving you opportunities to visit with different organizations and institutions, both around New York City and around the country. Obviously, we're on hold a little bit in that program for now, but sit tight. And as soon as this whole thing blows over, we will start up the field trips again and help you connect with alumni in person. So you're already attending this NSOP session today, this one, but we'd love for you to come to the student employment session this afternoon and the resume workshop tomorrow. For those of you interested in 4+1 pathways, we hope that you'll take some time to hear from Dean Youngblood-Giles this afternoon. Send us an email. The easiest way to get over the anxiety of thinking, oh, these are, you know, amorphous administrators and they want all of these things from me and there's high expectations. Just send us a line to beyondbarnard@barnard.edu. I will like literally send a wave emoji back just to break the ice. We want you to be in touch with us and we're really serious about it. You don't need to have a plan to start getting in touch. Like we said, we hope you'll hold a virtual meeting with a peer career advisor really sometime in late September, October after you get your feet under you, and also sign up for Barnard Connect. We can't say it often enough. And then again, don't worry about activating your Handshake account right now. You should think about it over the course of the first few weeks of classes. If you try to sign up right now, you'll actually have a harder time. You'll get all sorts of error messages about how you're not activated, you're not authenticated. But once you finalize enrollment, the registrar process will automatically approve your account. You won't have to sign up for anything to just be able to sign in using your uni. We'll include more information about that in next week's first BB Weekly, which is our weekly newsletter published on Wednesday evenings. Include information about Handshake, about campus jobs, about events, and about how to get in touch with us. So that's really the spiel. That is the first spiel of hopefully not too many spiel. I don't know. I like the word spiel. I'm actually going to stop sharing the screen and we can take a few additional questions. Thanks to those of you who have been chatting privately with a couple of folks in the chat on the side. For those of you who have had questions, please know you can, again, always email us at beyondbarnard@barnard.edu. I'm going to stop sharing my screen if I can figure out how to do it. And we can open it up. If there are other questions that you might have right now, I'm going to end the poll again. It looks like there's 0% again. I don't know what's going on with my computer, but thanks to all of you who filled out the, hopefully you have feelings out there. Questions have come in, just a few brief things. What's the best way to go about setting up a meeting? Once you have access to Handshake, you'll go directly into Handshake and have the full calendar of not only our staff, but also our peer career advisors. You'll be able to sign up directly in the platform. Jobs and internships for international students with a big time difference. So in terms of answering this question, I would say, for international students, we're here to help you find internships that might be locally based, either through the alumni network. Barnard alumni are scattered throughout the world. There are no geographic boundaries to where you can use internship funding provided by our office, so you can definitely apply for grants that would help support your work outside the US. In terms of student jobs, we've already been working with students who are outside of the Eastern time zone and understand, and employers on campus are extremely understanding of the schedules and the need to be flexible in a virtual work environment. The one thing I would say, and we'll talk about this a little bit this afternoon, for international students who are not currently in the US, there may be a longer process to get approved for a social security number, which is essential to be able to get paid for your work. We'll go over this a little bit more this afternoon, but that is one complicating factor that's due to kind of national politics right now, in addition to the global pandemic. We'll be sharing this recording via the NSOP page this evening, so you'll be able to access everything that we talked about today. And just a kind of brief thing, in case there are other folks who have this question out there, the difference between Handshake and Barnard Connect. Handshake is the gateway to all of our advising appointments, job and internship listings, events and resources, including guides on resumes, cover letters, interviews, negotiation, etiquette, etc. Barnard Connect is, as Christine aptly put it, LinkedIn just for Barnard. So this is only a virtual mentoring platform where you can connect with alumni who can support you in your career search, help you talk about your intellectual goals, share their experience, their identity, etc. So that's the key difference. Beyond Barnard is the main front door for all of our resources. Sorry, Handshake is, and Barnard Connect is the mentoring network. I don't know, does anybody else want to take any of the questions that you see in the chat to everybody in these final few minutes? So I can take a sip of water.
If I would just maybe respond to one question, is how do you choose an internship to apply to if you don't have a decided major or overall interest at the time you have to start applying? Well, that's a great question. And I think it's a little bit early, but it's a wonderful question. So I think I would say to you the following. After you have set up your resume, figured out what a cover letter looks like, maybe gone to see Lindsay or one of the advisors and said, hey, how does this go? You would already have maybe a clearer picture about maybe what your thoughts are, what I'm really good at, what I'd like to try, maybe an industry. And then, as Kayla was saying, you will see as you get into Handshake, there are information sessions that employers come to campus, and all that's about it, or a coffee chat. This is who we are. This is what your workday looks like. This is who we're looking to hire, and don't worry about a major, because at the first or second year level, they're not necessarily looking for a major. So as you gain more knowledge about yourself and how to participate in the application process, you'll start to see that foundationally it'll expand, and a lot of those questions will be answered just in rhythm. So it's a great question, but I think as you progress through our office, you'll get great answers.
Hey, colleagues, is there a reason why a student would not be able to see events or fairs on Handshake? I received a question. I want to make sure that I answer it accurately.
If you're logged into Handshake, you should be able to see all of the events and resources. There aren't very many events right now scheduled in our system, so that could be one thing that's going on. But again, I think I'm under the impression that most first years and transfers haven't finalized enrollment, so therefore probably aren't looking at the Barnard Handshake page because the accounts aren't basically approved by the registrar yet. So again, since the challenge of this presentation is it happens in NSOP, and it's like a couple of days before Handshake is activated. I know you all are chomping at the bit. So to get things done in the meantime, definitely get onto Barnard Connect, send an email, happy to initiate a conversation. And I promise you'll have access to Handshake very shortly. And then you can flood us with all of your questions and come to all of the events. We could not be more excited to host you. So I just want to say one thing. So Sierra, Barnard Connect will recommend alumni for you to connect with after you fill out your profile. But once you get through those recommendations, you have access to the entire network of alumni. So you can search for alumni along any number of interests. So just keep playing with the platform, and we're excited. About 780 alums are in there already and more than 1,000 students. So it's a fantastic resource. I know we did not get to every single individual question, which is a great prompt. And I can see in my inbox is already filling up already with emails that I'm going to respond to. For those of you who have questions that are outstanding, you want to get going, feel free to send them. We will get to those answers for you. But in the meantime, I wanted to say thank you to our great staff. Nothing energizes us quite like the entrance of an entire new first year class. So we're so enthusiastic that you took some time to join us this afternoon. I don't know why I can't access my emojis, but I would give a little applause emojis to all of you for coming out this afternoon, and to our staff. Please be in touch. We're looking forward to seeing you the rest of the week. And this recording will be available, I'm told, by our colleagues at Student Life as soon as this evening. So thank you again, everyone, and we will talk to you very, very soon. Stay safe, stay well. Hope all's okay with your family and that they may not be driving you too nuts.
Thank you.
Hi, everybody.
Thank you.